All these acorns. Squirrels out here eating all these damn acorns all over the place. And man, what's up, good people? Mark Holmes here. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Um, I have been busting a hump on the red brick house. And basically for the last 2 weeks, last weekend we had JMU's homecoming. JMU Dukes, okay? JMU Dukes, the 8-0 JMU Dukes that moved up to FBS and is ranked 23rd in the nation, that have created a dilemma for the NCAA because teams moving up to the FBS usually struggle. And they say that you're not bowl eligible for 3 years. JMU has come in and kicked ass. And unfortunately, can't beat a bowl game. 8-win team, leading their conference. Can't get a bowl game. But we were at JMU's homecoming, and we had some of our friends from JMU come over to watch the game at the red brick house. It was incredible. We spent time getting the house together and stuff, and spent time this week because we're thinking about doing Thanksgiving there, in which case we'll be doing the Thanksgiving game from the red brick house, which would be kind of cool to think that we'd actually be able to stay there and do that. So that's where all the work that we've done has been worthwhile. But when you spend time doing one thing, something else has to give. And unfortunately, my house here, came back and there's like tons of leaves. And it's like there weren't any leaves on the ground when I left. And now I've got leaves that I need to rake tomorrow and clean up because my house looks like a mess here. And when you spend so much time doing one thing, something else has to give. And that's where we have a problem with our Cowboys. The Cowboys ended up making a mistake and they've done this a couple of times. They made a mistake getting rid of Amari Cooper and Cedric Wilson because it hurt our passing game because we didn't have the same quality of receivers to replace them. CeeDee Lamb stepped up and played beautifully. But Noah Brown left a little bit to be desired. Noah Brown had a great season for what he is. And Michael Gallup was not the same guy as far as his leg went and still is not quite there. So he still has a ways to go. So knowing these things, the Cowboys made that mistake thinking we'll just get rid of those guys and we'll be fine. And I think in the end, right now, we've seen history repeat itself right now with the running game. Tony Pollard was a great back. But see, Tony Pollard, in the end, is kind of like Marion Barber. Marion Barber was a bruising back who was great, but he wasn't a guy who could carry the load all the time. He was great when he split time with another back because his style was, I'm a battering ram, rest his soul. And you can't do that 20, 25 times a game. Tony Pollard is similar to that, where his best thing was being fresh and being used as a change of pace back, where he is going outside, getting the ball in space. The problem is the Cowboys made a calculated decision and said, we're going to save money and move on from Zeke because he is getting older. He's not having the same burst that he has, and really did not replace him. And so now you're trying to get Tony Pollard to step into that role, and Tony Pollard went from 5.2 yards a carry from last year to only 3.9. Part of that is, he's injured, shoulder, and part of that is he can't run up the middle. He just can't take that pounding. And to me, this is kind of where I remember how Run DMC, Darren McFadden, where he was being used in that role with the Raiders with a bad offensive line. The Cowboys came here, he split time. He went from like 3.9 yards a carry to like 4.7. And he was more effective, one, because he had a better offensive line. He was getting away from that cesspool that is the Raiders. But he was also splitting time with other backs. And herein lies the problem of Mike McCarthy wanting to run the ball, that philosophy of, I just want to run the ball and play cautious ball. You don't have the back to do that right now. Or at least Tony Pollard is. Maybe Hunter Lipke could be. I don't know. Or maybe it has to be where you really are splitting more and more time with the different backs. But you cannot take Tony Pollard and think that over the course of the rest of the season, where we still have 10 games, that you can use him like that and think that he's going to make it through to the end of the season. And that's been my biggest worry. The first 2 weeks of the season, when Tony Pollard touched the ball more than any other player in the NFL, I said we're in trouble. You can't do it. His body cannot hold up. Now, I get it. The Cowboys are doing what teams do when it comes to running backs. We're going to run them in the ground. We're going to get our $10.1 million worth out of him, and we're going to let him go. We don't care if he can play for another team or not. We're going to get what we can out of him, and he's going to go. It's sad, but it's true. That's the philosophy with running backs. And as you see, teams are not necessarily getting the value that they're paying the running backs right now. Saquon got his $12 million, but Saquon, he played pretty good last week, but he still is injured more times than not. And it's not helping them to win. Just isn't. So the problem with the Cowboys is Mike McCarthy has this philosophy or desire of running the football, but he doesn't have those guys. You can want to do anything that you want. Hell, I want to have $1 million and build a whole bunch of affordable houses for people. That's what I want to do, but I don't have that money, so I can't do it. That means I have to change what I'm doing because I don't have a whole pile of money to have resources through. That means I got to figure out another way to get what I need to be able to do what I want to do for the ultimate goal, which is winning. And right now, you've seen the last 2 weeks, Dak Prescott has the arm, he has the ability, and he has some weapons if you decide to use them. But if you're deciding that we're going to take our philosophy on winning an offense is going to be Tony Pollard running him between the tackles, who is nicked up, and a bunch of other guys that aren't big game, big name running backs, as opposed to saying, let's use CeeDee Lamb, who just had 160 yards, has averaged like 140 yards the last couple of games. Let's use Brandon Cooks, a guy who gets 1,000 yards every year. Let's use a Jake Ferguson. Let's spread out the field. And instead of trying to run against the strength of the Eagles, let's go to their weakness. That's what the Cowboys have to do. That's it. You can want to do a lot of things, but reality is another thing. And that's what I'm looking for the Cowboys to do, especially with the Eagles that can score. A.J. Brown is an absolute positive beast. Even though he does not want to get into the rivalry of the Cowboys, he just wants to show up and play nice. But this game is a really important game for the Cowboys. The funny thing is I'm not getting the same energy right now from the Eagles. For the most part, yeah, well, we're going to win. They're not writing checks like they were before. It feels like they're having a little bit of second thoughts, a little bit of doubts. Now, if they win, I know they're going to be here and telling us, oh, we knew all along we were going to kick your teeth in. But it seems like they're a little shy, a little reserved, and a little worried. Kind of surprising since they are the best team in football. But then again, I guess that's why they play the games. So, Today is the 10-year anniversary of Dak Prescott losing his mother. And his mother has definitely shaped him to the person that he is. And that's sad. I have been blessed to have both of my parents. I got to see them again today. And I can't imagine what life would be without them. I always say to everybody here to tell the people you love them, because you might not get the chance again. And that's the honest truth. Hold the ones you love close to you. And don't waste time on mindless minutia. Do the things that you enjoy and that make you happy. Because just like as fast as these leaves all fell down here, time just keeps flying by. And there's no way to stop it. And there's no way to turn the clock back. Make the most of your time. Let go of your hate. I love you guys. And I hope I see you all tomorrow. We'll be here at the Man Cave on Sunday. We'll be broadcasting all day long, starting with the Germany game and going on through. I'm Mark Holmes, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.